The succession wars were two big wars that were fought between 1666 to 1701, leading to forced unions between Austria, Russia and Spain. Many thousands died in the wars that would make Austria a world power that none could oppose. The first war, fought between the Austrian Empire and Russia, lasted between 1666 to 1671, leading to a union between the two great powers. During spring, the Austrian armies moved in on heavily fortified positions of the Teutonic Order, trying to force them out of the war. The Russian troops were unorganized and fell back deep into Russia. However, the siege of the Teutonic Order took longer than planned, and Russian troops had time to get organized for a counterattack. Two smaller armies entered Sweden and Crimea territories to raid and terrorize the local population. This forced Austrian armies to break the sieges in the Teutonic Order and split up to defend against the Russian troops, giving the Teutonic Order breathing room to organize their troops. With newborn morale and leaders confident in victory, the Russian alliance marched into the Austrian defenses head-on, and several huge battles were fought along the borders. What eventually led to the defeat of the Russian armies was that they had underestimated the number of men that Austria could send to the front lines. With the main bulk of the Russian armies defeated, the Austrian empires pushed deep into Russian lands, where they eventually sieged the capital and forced the personal union. The Second Succession War lasted between 1688 and 1701 and was fought between the Austro-Russian Empire, Spain, Britain and Ferrara. Just a few years after the death of the Russian monarch, the throne of Spain had a weak claim, and the Habsburg family used it to claim their throne. What was thought to be an easy war turned out to be one of the most costly wars they've ever fought. In the initial years of the war, the Austro-Russian armies saw huge success in invading Spain's allies, forcing them out of the war. Meanwhile, Spaniard troops gathered in the Pyrenees mountains, fortifying their positions. Since Spain had naval superiority, a coastal assault would not be possible, so the only way through was to attack the now heavily fortified positions in southern France. Hundreds of thousands died trying to push through the Pyrenees mountains, where Spain won battle after battle due to superior generals and strong fortifications. With naval superiority, they could freely move supplies from their many colonies, and with their huge treasury, they could use mercenary armies to conserve their manpower. 1698, after 20 years of constant war, the fortifications finally fell. Spain had held out against an overwhelming force for longer than anyone could anticipate, but they finally fell due to the lack of fresh bodies to send to the front lines. Their capital was captured soon after that, and they were forced into a union. The price paid was however huge, and it would take many decades to recover from this atrocious war. thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did creating it. I'd like to take a small moment of your time to thank you again for all the support on my previous time lapses. It's been amazing. I'd also like to mention that I've gotten a few comments asking me if I'm going to do more time-lapse videos on my other videos. The answer to that is yes, I'll probably make more time-lapse videos, since I play a lot of Paradox games, but it's not going to be the only content on this channel. It's never been and it never will. So don't worry if you see some other games and videos, I'm probably just taking a break from grand strategy games. Anyways, I hope you liked the video and I will see you in the next one.